Hello, good day, and welcome to this webinar episode in partnership with Robinsons Land Corporation. My name is Mark Bailey. I'm part of the corporate accounts team at Lamudi Philippines, and we'd like to take a look today at real estate as a solid investment here in the Philippines. Following unprecedented and simultaneous economic disruption around the world, and now with restrictions beginning to ease here in the Philippines and abroad, we'd like to take a look at the solid investment potential from real estate here in the Philippines through the eyes of one of the country's leading developers. Robinsons Land contribute to all segments of the real estate industry, from residential condominiums, subdivisions, lot options, office buildings, malls, their hospitality brand. So a really diverse look at the industry, and I think we'll be able to identify the opportunities that this crisis may have presented as we stand today. Joining me from Robinsons Land is Henry Yap, Business Unit General Manager for Robinsons Residential, and also co-currently the President of RHK Land, a joint venture between Robinsons Land Corporation and Hong Kong Land. Welcome, Henry. Thank you for joining us. We're looking forward to your insights.
Thank you for inviting us and giving us the opportunity to be able to share our insights in the real estate industry in the Philippines.
Great, yeah, it's good to have you. So the topic today is real estate really as a solid investment. So I think we'd like to break down the different types of investor profile, from the kind of serial investor or millennial investor through to kind of middle income end users, and then a key market for the Philippines, which is the overseas Filipino workers. So I'll start with the kind of seasoned investor or millennial investor, someone new to investing in real estate who perhaps is looking at the potential. So the seasoned investor will have a kind of well experience to understand the strength of real estate as an asset class, especially during a crisis. What would your advice be to a millennial looking to invest in real estate?
For the millennials who are first-time investors, I'd like to share the secrets of our seasoned investors. Number one, the best time really to invest in the market is in a downturn market. Why? Because at this point in time, we have a lot of choices for our investors, and they have the opportunity to select what that best fits their requirement, either from a budget point of view, from a lifestyle point of view, or many other considerations. In addition, during a downturn, there is a tendency of most funders to reduce their interest rates. This is because a lot of the old borrowers would tend to conserve their cash or reduce their exposure. As such, banks are actually forced to bring down the rates to encourage more people to borrow. Three, once they're able to buy a unit, they can actually hold on to that unit and they can lease out that unit, allowing them rental yields that are far better than putting their money in the bank. For investors who put it in big developers, they will immediately recognize profit or income appreciation because the properties will tend to go up in prices periodically. Just like in the case of Robinsons, twice a year we would increase our prices. So naturally, our investors there, if they invest early, would already have gained from the rates that we have adjusted. And lastly, if they want to dispose of the units that they have bought at a lower price, then they would have a substantial windfall in the property prices.
Thank you, Henry. Yeah, some good insights there. I'd like to kind of summarize there. I think really it's the choice available as an investor with low interest rates, so borrowing becomes very, very attractive. And then I guess looking towards the big developers for confidence and consistent appreciation. You mentioned the secondary income, so the leasing out of units. I guess that kind of takes a few different forms. One is kind of the long-term residential. The other one is a kind of shared economy, which has been a kind of hot topic, particularly in real estate with avenues like Airbnb. Do you still see both long-term rentals and the shared economy as big potential sources of secondary income?
Yes, the rental income continues to be a viable source of passive income for our investors. Of course, there will be some adjustments in the early period because there will be initially a few of them still thinking if they want to invest or they want to buy. But in the long term, it will continue to improve, we believe, and that will surely be good income for our millennials as well as seasoned investors. As for our Airbnb, that shared economy will continue. However, given the reduced travel of many of our customers, there might be some adjustment that needs to be considered. But once a solution has been found, a vaccine has been found, I think the economy will again improve for tourism, and that would again augment their income for Airbnb passive income.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's. I mean, it all sounds pretty positive. I think for Philippine real estate, in that we have enjoyed a period of good growth for some time. It's almost like there's a kind of pause button, I guess, for investors at the moment. Moving into the kind of end users, the middle income earners. Who are perhaps looking at investing for the first time to purchase a house for their families. What would be your what important learnings really are there for these families who are looking to invest in real estate?
Actually, the downturn or the slowdown in the economy has actually provided our investors with better insights. Now they can actually compare where to put their money, where to invest. Here they can really see the big difference between a boutique developer and a well-established developer. Because from a well-established developer, you will see the opportunity for them to provide all the requirements despite the downturn. Here they can provide you business continuity, they can service your requirements, they can respond to your questions even during the downturn, because many of these big developers still continue to have skeletal forces that can service you. Unfortunately, not all developers will be able to do that, and this is actually a revelations to many of our potential investors. Second, we can also see that it is important that the developers are able to adjust. For the longest time, we have had an upswing in our economy, and real estate has actually earned from that upswing. But with this sudden turn in our economy, we need to understand if many of our developers can sustain these challenges. We don't know how long this pandemic will last. We don't know how long the vaccines will eventually be produced. But we also don't know if the developers that are selling their units now can last that long. So it's important that we have a discerning investor, a discerning buyer, and if we can say, they will eventually move to quality developers.
Thank you. I think, yeah, again, promising for middle income earners. So to kind of summarize then, I think for well-established developers, business continuity, stability, and kind of full service, kind of end-to-end support through the purchasing process, and even after sales in terms of the support that you give the communities that are already housed. Moving overseas now, I guess a key market for the Philippines is overseas. What would be your message to the market overseas who are potentially looking to invest in the Philippines at this time?
Well, my suggestions or recommendations to our OFW who have not invested in real estate is to invest in real estate now. For many of them, they actually work very hard and they try to save that money and send it in the Philippines. Unfortunately, not everyone here in the country will be able to properly save that money and use it for good means. not to say that they're doing it improperly, but there are a number of other conflicting or urgent requirements which you need to redirect your funds. So for a discerning OFW, what he wants to ensure is that he can directly put that money in an investment so that he can ensure that when he comes back, when he returns to the Philippines, that money can be seen in the investment that he has put while he was abroad. And real estate is that one good venue. Moreover, when he eventually returns to the Philippines and decides to return, he can actually have a lot of savings. Why? Because he does not have to worry about the monthly amortizations or the monthly rentals that he has to pay, given that he had already done that while he was abroad. He can also save a lot of money because now that he will eventually have a lower income compared to when he was abroad, he can actually maximize his savings.
Interesting. So I guess a kind of long-term strategy in that you're abroad, you're away from your family, you're working hard, and to kind of set yourself up for that return gives the investment longevity. I wonder, are there any particular OFW countries that you see particularly with an opportunity right now of the kind of key markets?
Right now, many of our OFW markets are located in the Americas and Asia and Middle East. The type of products, however, or the units that they buy vary depending on their affordability. The ones we see from the US or the Americas basically look for a higher bracket income, thus generating purchases in the mid to high level as well. For those in the Middle East, many of these are actually OFW professionals or skilled workers. So they tend to invest in their initial home, which are of a smaller price units.
So moving on, I guess, to your projects, we've covered, I guess, three categories of investor. In terms of the consumers and the kind of what's happened over the past 3 months, what features would you like to highlight within your projects that have perhaps come to more of a priority for your consumers?
Fortunately, in the early part of this year, we launched projects that are considered part of smart homes. And this has actually been the most in-demand type of units now, given the pandemic. We want to provide our buyers with the convenience and the safety. So here we are able to access our units remotely, either through cell phones or other mode of gadgets that allow us little interface, physical interface. We also are able to provide destination estate projects. And this has allowed us a lot of convenience, especially during the period of lockdown where people have limited access to where they can move around. If a project is located in areas where there are amenities, or let's say there are conveniences of shops and stores, then it makes a lot of difference for our end users, our buyers, because they can just go down from their unit and be able to immediately get what they need. And these are the most saleable type of products or units that we have at this time.
So it's a kind of digital transformation of your products mixed with I guess the kind of township concept in that everything is kind of within reach from your residence, in that you don't necessarily have to travel too far. I guess, I mean, is that something that you're looking to highlight further in your perhaps your marketing strategy? Are you actually now looking to accelerate these philosophies with planning into the future? I wonder how the kind of recent events have kind of altered that forward thinking strategy for planning and building.
Yes, we have actually embarked on a digital transformation about 3 years ago. But more than ever, the current pandemic has allowed us to visualize and reap the rewards from the investment that we have done initially 3 years ago. Yeah. Today, more than ever, people see the need for us to go digital and for us to ensure that digital is the way to move forward.
Yeah.
Having said that, I'd like to share with you what our company has done. This has also allowed us to be a market leader because now, instead of face-to-face selling, our sellers can now work remotely from the convenience of their work site or their homes and still connect to our potential buyers via online. We can also provide digital materials, online materials such as a tour of the site, some pictures of the site, amenities. They are all immediately available and can be viewed by our buyers. Our buyers also have the opportunity to check the records that they have made with our company. For example, if unfortunately you're not able to visit our company but would want to get an update on the statement of accounts of the payments you have made for the unit that you have bought from us, you can actually check our buyers portal, and they can actually check themselves the records in that portal.
Sure. Okay. And I guess, I mean, the selling points, the communication to your sales force in terms of the features to highlight, is there anything else specific to your projects that you'd like to highlight here on the webinar?
Well, we have been developing a lot of projects within our destination estates, and our destination estates actually allow a lot of convenience. Within these estates, you can already leave work and play because they have the convenience. And at the same time, we are also within reach. So the problem of traveling a distance away from your work site will be eliminated if you buy one of our units, because in many of these developments, everything is within reach.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I guess the investment in digital 3 years ago has really set you apart from the competition potentially moving forward now. So it'd be interesting to see the response. I'm interested to know how you see the response to the previous pandemic and how quickly you think the market will recover.
Well, the response of the economy will still be dependent on how fast we can find a vaccine. I think we are entering what is known as a new normal. Social distancing will continue to be the key to getting rid of the spread of the COVID-19. But however, business has to continue. And for us, because of our digital transformation, we believe we can still be able to continue our business under these conditions.
So I think investment is still optimistic. You have some kind of key selling points that remain attractive to kind of cater to these changing priorities in terms of the property seekers themselves. I guess one of the biggest challenges for real estate professionals at the moment is the process itself. If I'm eager to invest, how can I go about that, and how can I go about that in a safe manner while we're still kind of grappling with restrictions and what that looks like. So you mentioned a few marketing materials there that you have for your sales teams. Is there anything other than that you'd like to share with how we can access your properties without actually being socially interacting with the teams?
Yes, fortunately for us, even before the pandemic, we had already started on our online home buying solutions. By that, we mean that we have already encapsulated all our materials in a electronic library, which we can actually share with our buyers. So depending on the requirements of our buyer, they can actually scan through this library and have a better understanding of the different type of projects that we buy. In addition, we have moved into digital online marketing. So not only do we show snippets of our project, we actually have actual 360 virtual tours of the project. So if you want to manipulate or adjust the length of time that you want to explore a particular area, you actually have the free hand in doing so in our 360 virtual tours. We also have a number of e-brochures that allows you to compare projects against another project. And also our Facebook pages provide you regular updates to allow you to be familiar with our discount programs, our new announces, and the like. In addition, we are fortunate that we have instilled in that online home buying program a reservation system that allows you to meet our sellers online. Depending on your requirements, our sellers can get back to you on different platforms that are your most convenient or most conversant, so that we can continue the process of selling online. In addition, we have a very simple three-step process for our payment system. Basically, you just have to print or sign digitally in your tablet or in your gadget. Then you can either scan it or you can just send it directly to us and include in that process the materials or the documents that we need. So it's very convenient for our buyers to be able to complete the transaction. However, if there are still buyers who feel the need that they still have to see the actual unit or see our showrooms, we actually have put safety measures in our showroom so that by the time we can allow our buyers to go them, they will not have to worry about the safety risk or the security risk. In our showrooms, we have placed the following safety measures, including regular cleaning and disinfection. We've provided safe distancing. We've limited the number of people that may enter the showroom at any particular time. Once you get into the mall and into our showroom, there will be temperature checks. And of course, we prefer that you have an appointment before you actually go there, so we can ensure that there will just be a more appropriate number of people that enter our showrooms. For our employees, to make sure that we don't affect our own organization or our buyers, we also require our sellers and our employees to submit daily health declaration forms. This is to ensure that we're able to monitor their health, and if they are in any of those conditions or symptoms, we normally would insist that they don't report to the office so that they don't have the chance of contaminating anybody.
Fantastic news. Thank you, Henry. That brings me to the end of my questions. I think we've kind of covered three areas. We've looked at the opportunities of the different investment profiles and why your projects might appeal to those investors with recent events changing priorities and changing the timeline, and then also the process itself, in that you have the marketing materials available to kind of review your products and your projects and what's available. But at the same time, if you really do need to visit and do the ocular in person, then that's also a safe option moving forward. So thank you for your time today, Henry. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and I wish you well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and do hope to see you and many of our clients in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you.
Robinsons Land Corporation, one of the largest real estate developers in the Philippines and a subsidiary of the JG Summit Holdings Incorporated. Through the years, RLC has established a name in the real estate industry as it remains on top of the game in laying out the most well-designed and exceptional lifestyle spaces to the market. Its wide array of prime residential developments across the country has inspired many individuals to explore opportunities that provide a rewarding lifestyle experience. Being one of BCI Asia's top 10 property developers in the Philippines, RLC Developments have been highly regarded by prestigious international and local property award-giving bodies. With close to 3 decades of experience in property development, RLC has made a legacy that is strongly associated with good value and high-quality developments that our employees, customers, business partners, and shareholders can be proud of. It has evolved into a property developer that continues to draw interesting blueprints of fresh concepts that go beyond the ordinary. Concepts that have the power to make lives anew. concepts that create a sense of fulfillment to families, professionals, and young investors. In the years to come, RLC is envisioned to reach greater heights as it continues to expand its widespread portfolio of innovative developments that have made a big impact in the lives of Filipino families. We are RLC. Your dreams, our foundation.